Hello and welcome to Thaiger Bites. This is where we discuss your comments and feedbacks from our channels on YouTube, Facebook, Thaiger Talk Forum. And joining me today once again is Timothy Newton.
Thank you. And the tiger.
And the tiger, of course, and our beautiful plants. Right, let's just get right into it, Tim.
Well, let me start because this comment is basically in relation to the introduction from Tony, who said, I wish the show would settle into a routine. It seems to change as much as the restrictions to get into Thailand. First the background and the hosts, live and then not live. Settle into some consistency for a while, please. So can we say that we've added this today and that Mike was here last week, I'm here this week? Yes, there have been some changes. But I can also say that within the next month, we have to move all of this up to Bangkok. And not only that, we'll have some new faces, some new hirings, some new hosts. I'll slowly be doing the Homer Simpson and slowly disappearing into the hedge when we get some much prettier, much smarter people on camera. So you will continue to see some changes, but we will keep Good Morning Thailand, our morning headlines, probably Thaiger Bites in some sort of form where we can talk about your comments, and also the sort of the flagship of our YouTube channel, which is the Thailand News Today program, which will continue with Jet. So we are trying new things. We are trying some new ideas. Sorry I had to step away for 2 weeks, but people are going to go on holiday and we will have to have fill-in people from time to time. But thank you, Tony.
Right. Thank you for the comment, Tony. I have a comment here from Wayne Lau. And Wayne says, after being in Thailand for 7+ years, I've noticed there's often a lot of animosity directed to younger expats, 22 to 30-year-olds, from older Thai expats, 50+. Is there an obvious reason for this, or am I tripping?
Oh, this just sounds to me like older generation versus younger generation. Yeah. I'm not sure if there's any particular animosity from Thai expats towards younger expats. Yeah. The expat community in Thailand is very broad. Yeah. I've mentioned it a few times. The highest number, the largest national group of expats in Thailand are Japanese, and the second highest is Filipino. Yeah. So I'm not sure which particular international group or cultural group he's referring to. Right. Yeah. But I don't think there's any particular animosity. I think it's just a generational thing. Older people are always having a go at younger people.
Wayne, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't face any animosity from older expats.
You young whippersnappers. And Anon555, and this is talking about tourists coming back into Thailand, and he or she says tourism should not come back until the emergency decree is repealed and hopefully not replaced with a permanent structure that isn't as bad or worse. Well, we mentioned in Good Morning Thailand that it looks like the emergency decree may be repealed.
Right, Tim, it may not actually exist by the end of the month once the reopening happens, because the Thai cabinet has actually approved a draft amendment to the 2015 Communicable Disease Act, which will actually get rid of the emergency decree that was only supposed to be during the COVID-19 outbreak.
So the double CSA will probably still exist as a body, although it may be reporting to Parliament rather than reporting directly to the Prime Minister. So there'll still be a body. Whether they're going to be bad or worse, that's going to have to be up to you, Anon555, to tell us.
Right. I have got a comment here from Payak Peter. I get the impression that Tim's grasp of grammar is similar to Jay. You don't twittering, you tweet. Get a grip, Tim. Now, this was actually a dig at both of us because he was comparing your grammar to me.
I'm taken aback by that. Fancy. But yeah, I think I was saying when people are sending tweets, they were twittering. Yeah. And he took umbrage to that.
Right. Payak, I don't know if your name is Payak or Peter, but I'll just call you Payak. Payak, you are actually wrong, sir. If you actually go onto Google and type twittering, you will get the definition of what twittering is, which is a person who makes a social media post on Twitter. And if you don't believe Google, you can also go on the Cambridge Dictionary and type in twittering and get the same result.
I think most people, though, call it tweeting.
Yes.
But, these are just made-up words.
Exactly.
So...
Twitter, I'm going to write a tweet, I am twitting. Twitting is probably not a word. But twittering, it is a word that probably a lot of people say, and then it just becomes a definition because, Twitter is not, it was a made-up word, probably.
It's just a brand name.
Exactly. And new words keep on coming up as the platform gets bigger and bigger and more people start using it. So Payak, you clearly watch the show every day and you comment on all of our shows, and we love having you here. We love reading your comments. If our grammar really bothers you that much, does it? It probably doesn't. Just relax, enjoy the show, and thank you for always watching.
Well, your grammar's shocking. Mine's fantastic. David R. also talking about tourists and the experience of tourists coming back to Thailand at this time. He said, and what will the tourists, in inverted commas, be subjected to during their stay? Daily COVID checks, tracking apps, nightly hotel check-ins, no guests coming to rooms. Well, what he's referring to are some of the situations that exist with the current Phuket sandbox and people who are coming back to Thailand with quarantine-free stays. So, we're hoping, obviously, that some of these restrictions that you mentioned, David, are going to be relaxed. But at the moment, yes, the situation for tourists is that they have to fit into a certain level of restrictions, and we all hope that they're going to be lifted.
Right. Another comment here from Glenn Quagmire, who says, I hear Lisa from Blackpink loves coffee culture coffee. Send her a mug. What mug is he talking about, Tim?
He's probably referring to this mug. I think what he's saying is that coffee culture could use the power of K-pop to propel their product even further. Yeah. So I'm not sure if Lisa actually does like a culture club.
Coffee culture.
Coffee culture. Culture club. That's the pop group from the UK. But I'm sure if she had an opportunity, she probably would.
Limited to 100 cups in collaboration with a Thai artist. Get your mugs at www.coffeeculture.asia.
I've got a lot of comments about Thai Airways.
Okay.
About 7 of them. We whipped through these.
Wow, okay.
These are all people who were commenting about our story about Thai Airways yesterday, who are back in the situation where they're having to sell off planes, basically a bankrupt national airline. The government's thrown them under the bus, thrown an airline under the bus. And so these are some responses. Jan Willem, who could be Jan Willem, said Thai Airways never returned money to its customers for cancelled flights due to COVID-19. I doubt people are stupid enough to buy tickets again from an airline that basically screwed its customers. Nigel Williams says, during the past 15 years, whenever I've been looking to book a flight from London to Bangkok or vice versa, Thai Airways has always stood out as being the most expensive, even when they were still using really knackered old aircraft. You flown much with Thai Airways the past 10 years?
Once or twice.
And what was your experience?
It's very different to the other airlines. When you think about Emirates or Qatar, you think premium. You think, it's very classy. The services, they're very kind. They're very beautiful to look at. The airline just has such a great image. It has such great marketing that when you go to these airlines, you feel like, ooh, I'm in a really good airline. All the cabin crew is so beautiful. The plane is beautiful. My seats are beautiful. Everything is great in this plane, but you don't think about that in Thai Airways. They say they're smooth as silk, but when you get onto the airline, the staff are quite mature in age. They seem almost crabby when you ask them for like a bag of peanuts. Ooh. And you're almost afraid to ask, like, okay, I'll just, she's gonna shout at me, so I'm just gonna sit in my seat and get on with my flight.
Last time I flew with Thai Airways, it was about 20 years ago. It was an old rust bucket MD-11 flying from Melbourne to Bangkok. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a particularly memorable flight, although I can't really remember that I found any problems with the service. But EE 9446, very specific.
9546.
9546. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. Tim, FYI, it takes approximately 3 months to bring an aircraft back into service. I was talking yesterday about all these Thai aircraft who were just sitting out in the open at Suvarnabhumi Airport for the past nearly 18 months and looking very tired. Inside the cabin, we use silicone gel to absorb any excess moisture. I'm not sure about how TG do their scheduled maintenance, but they should have a program whereby they service and start up the aircraft regularly whilst being stored. Yeah, don't know if that's happening, but we hope before these planes get back into the sky that they are thoroughly serviced. Jeremy Fielding says, rampant corruption at Thai Airways aside, letting airline staff travel in business class free with 100 kilograms of luggage was never a good business model. There were quite a few different classes of people who were getting freebies on Thai Airways. I think any politicians or past politicians were able to get seats up the front. If you were from a certain family or certain families, you got a bit of a gold pass as well. So you're filling up your plane with free seats was never going to fly. I got more. Peter E says, thank you, Tim and Jay, good show. Okay. I always loved Thai International service, went down last few years, but they have not stored their planes correctly. I will not fly with them again. They need to be parked in deserts like in the US, Australia and Spain. You see a lot of these planes when they are not being used, they put them in very dry areas rather than humid places when where the humidity can just kill the electric parts, the fabrics, and make a real mess and take a lot of time to fix them up.
Right, I have a comment relating to Thai Airways. I've got a comment from Lesbian Alien who says, simple with Thai Airways, it's been far too expensive for a long time, plenty others to use. I don't think they get it as far as business is concerned. There is a word they need to understand, competitive. They are really not, and until they are, they will never be a success. I think a lot of people would agree with you. They can't compete with airlines like Singapore Airlines, Emirates, Qatar Airways. Those days are far gone. They used to be top 10. I don't even know if they can't even be considered top 10 anymore.
Well, considering that the government's not going to bail them out anymore, I think they've got a very difficult time ahead. Patrick Torrance said, I used to fly with Thai Airways, high baggage allowance, great staff and very good service, but in the last years, other airlines offer the same for 40% less. My final comment about Thai Airways, and thank you for all your comments about the topic, from Newton Del Mar, the airline industry is effed up. The airline industry is effed up all over the world. You can fill in the asterisks there. Here in the USA, it's no better than in Thailand. Been that way for 40 years. Personally, I do not know how to fix it. Doubling the price for every seat on every flight might fix it, make it profitable, but then very few people would fly. That would sort of be like it was 50 years ago, when there was only, we used to call them the jet set. The jet set would be the only ones who could afford to fly.
Is that where that word comes from? Jet setter?
Jet setter.
Cool. Right, I have a comment here from CA1954 who says, talking about medical insurance, Tim, when you reach that age when you can't get medical insurance in Thailand, what are your options?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Some insurance companies, they finish off or cap their insurance at either 70 or 75 years of age. Some companies, if you have been with them for a long time and you don't sort of keep on shopping around for the cheapest every year and you stay with one company, they will carry it on past 75. I think for those people, though, who are in the situation where they can't get insurance once they get over those ages, and it could be because of pre-existing conditions or whatever, their general health, the only thing you can do is provide your own insurance. That is, look after yourself and save. Put some money in the bank and have your own money put aside for a medical emergency, because as you get older, and we are getting older and living for longer, you're going to need a hospital or a doctor or some medical assistance at some stage, and the older you get, the more likely that is. So it all comes from planning. I would say just good planning and recognising that you're not going to be healthy forever and that you are going to need to have access to medical care. And if you live in a place like Thailand, you're going to need to do it based on what is available here. Public health system, you can use that and pay for it, as we mentioned the other day, or you can go to private hospitals if you want to pay a premium. yeah, I'd say just good planning.
Right, Tim, I've got a comment here from Kenneth who says, come on, guys, nobody is interested in plants coming out of your head or wonderful coffee. Surely this is a news channel. Why not get on with it and mention your sponsors as you continue the program? Almost 3 minutes before real news was discussed. La 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 la. Good to have you back, Tim. So he's happy you're back. But Kenneth, I don't know if you've noticed yet, but we actually have timestamps on our video. So if you'd like to skip the shenanigans and not listen to us talking about the coffee and or anything, you can actually click on the section where we directly talk about the thing that you are interested to watch, whether that be news. And we've decided to do timestamps on all of our videos. So look out for the timestamps and save yourself some time.
Yeah, by the way, you do get to watch the show for free, and if we do have to have a sponsor and they'd like to take advantage of our traffic, we apologise for that, Kenneth. We don't want you to feel uneasy.
Yes, but if you haven't had your coffee yet, Kenneth, Coffee Culture Asia provides you Thai roast coffee all across Thailand and internationally. So find your coffee blend at coffeeculture.asia.
Make you feel all warm and nice inside, Kenneth.
Yes. Doishang Peaberry coffee. It'll change your life, Kenneth. It'll change your life.
I don't have any more comments.
Okay,
done.
I've got one last comment here, and I'm going to take it as...
After we were trolling Kenneth for the past 5 minutes?
Ken Minohan.
Oh, no.
And he says, balance, Jay.
Oh, no.
Balance. Along with 3 other comments, which basically were regarding our set and the plants. And Ken, I know that you've struggled with our set for the past couple of months. I have heard you, and I'd like to let you know that this falls directly on Jason. Jason is the man you need to be talking to.
It's Jason's fault.
He's the one who sets up these plants.
Yeah.
He's the one who bought them. He's the one who forces us to put them behind us. It's Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we get to Bangkok, by the way, we should have something approaching a normal or better set. So this has all been temporary.
Yeah.
We're sorry that it's made you feel so uncomfortable, Ken.
All jokes aside, Ken, you have actually, mentioned this a couple of times, and
There we go. We put the tiger back behind us.
We are aware of the comments and how you'd like balance to the set.
over this way a bit? Is that better?
We will work on it, Ken. We will have
this one?
We'll have an amazing new set for you. Yes, this is Susan. And right, those are all the comments for today.
Goodbye.
Any last comments?
Now I'm going home.
Right, all right. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Jason. Have a nice day, everyone. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. As for us, this is goodbye. See you tomorrow.